Greetings, Inquisitors. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the week 177 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week, go through all the characters, ships, mods, datacrons, whatever we're doing for the account so that you can follow along. Please remember, as we get started, hit that like button. It does help me, helps the channel, and I would appreciate it if you could do it for me. Thank you very much. All right, let's see what happens in week 177. Our target was to relic another one of these Inquisitors. Fifth brother, ready to go. So let's upgrade that to gear 13 and start putting relic levels on. Taking it to relic 7, getting prepared for the third sister battle. So we're going to take it up to relic 4. And then we're going to need to stop and go grab some bronzium wiring. Just take what we can get here and make 116 bronzium wiring. That's going to be enough to finish this out for this week. So we'll take that up. Conquest coming up next week. We should be able to grab some more bronzium wirings out of there and help out, and then be able to get another relic 7 character next week. So we should be in pretty good shape as far as our run up to this Grand Inquisitor. Also have this 8th brother, and we're going to take him to gear 12, and then we're going to start locking down pieces, and we get 4 out of the 6 pieces already ready to go. So that's pretty good. We'll work on some skills here because we've never skilled this character up to this point. So we'll do that. Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. I need a Kyro for this level, and I really want this character, so I feel it a little bit spicy, and I go ahead and I throw the Kyros on him. We need another Kyro for this level, and it was on my plan to work on him sort of after the Inquisitors and between Jedi Knight Cal Kestis journey. So we put some gear on that character. Going into mods here, we're going to get rid of the 3-speed mods, and we're also going to get rid of most of the 4-speed mods. What I've been doing is trimming off the 3-speed mods and 4 speeds that aren't like triangles or crosses. So here we're just missing a bunch on speeds. Here we get 10 speed, we miss. We try again, we get 6 speed. Try again, we get 6 speed. 23 speed at 6 dots. We hit it again with another 6 speed. Gray mod to 29 speed mod. I'm pretty excited about this one. Really low chances of ever getting a mod up to 29 speed. It's pretty low statistics. So whenever we get one of those, it's a miracle day. Really happy. All right, so the rest of them, we get one more mod that goes to 15 speed. On the blues and the greens, we get one here that works out to 14 speed, but we are running low on slicing materials pretty quickly here. We're going to take that one up. This one's 15 speed on 3 rolls, and we slice it once, and we're out of slicing materials. So that's all the slicing we're going to be able to do for the week. We go ahead and put a beginner mod set onto Dark Trooper Moff Gideon just to get him up and running and viable. Maybe use him in next Grand Arena, who knows. We don't have skills and Omicrons and all that stuff on him yet for territory wars or anything. Then we're going to work on the Grievous team. We tried that against a Starkiller team, and we didn't do so well. So I'm going to come in here, really give some decent mods to Grievous, give him a little more speed, make sure that all of his mods are health mods. And so we go through, steal a couple mods from a couple characters. We get him up to 261 speed with 150,000 health. So a little better off than he was before. Or at least, I've committed some good mods to him. Before I just had like leftover, like medium mods on him. So now he's actually got decent mods. I could probably still improve a little more if I gave him my best mods, but I'm not doing that. Here I farm up a few slicing materials to try to get this character some better mods on B1. B1 just goes for offense, right? Because all these other stats really don't matter for B1 because he runs off of stacks. But we end up getting as much offense as we can. And this mod has 98 flat offense, so even though it doesn't have, health mod doesn't have an effect on him, it still carries a lot of flat offense. BB-8, we're going to need to make BB-8 fast. Again, with trying to get ahead of the Mara Jade on a Starkiller team, we need characters to be a little bit faster than we had them before. So without too much effort, we can get BB-8 up to 330 speed. Again, not using the best mods. He's a pretty fast character, so it's not too hard to get him pretty quick. And try to make sure that we stay ahead of some of these Mara Jade teams, even with a really fast Mara Jade. B2, we're just going for all kinds of potency. We get him up to 235 speed. Again, this is a character that I plan to relic. So once I relic this character, then I can use a Datacron on the Grievous team as well. So we gotta get him finished out. That's going to be it for the upgrades to the account. I did look at ships and Datacrons and other stuff and tried to find other improvements to make, but there really wasn't much else that I wanted to do for this week. So that's what we got. Week 177, we're at 8.95 million galactic power, added 20,000 over last week. 151 relics, 132 zetas, 17 omicrons. JMK is still top 50 in the squad arena. In Fleet, Executor can get us top 5. GAC, we're in Kyber 2. In the project, I put the last brother for week 178, so 8th brother. But it's the last Inquisitor that I got to do, and then we'll qualify for that Grand Inquisitor event. We'll grab that for the guild, and then we'll start modding those characters and getting them ready for the third sister, so I can start grabbing a shard for the guild in territory battles. So if I manage to get that journey done, I don't know that I'll be able to get the Grand Inquisitor done in time, but you know, we'll see how it works out. I don't think I'm in time for this TB, but we'll see. The farming plan is still all the new stuff. B28 I'm still working on from a long time ago, but then we're grabbing Seer, Tarful, Saw, Keller and Beck, and I've added Paz Vizsla to that as well, so basically farming the newer stuff for the Cal Kestis and the Bo-Katan. And again, I think my strategy from here on out is just going to, every time they put a newer character on a node, I'm going to try to add it to the farming list. So as the Gungans show up, we'll add those to the farming list, etc. In Fleet, we're working on IG-12. Out of Cantina, we're just doing signal data. We will eventually have to make some room to farm Cal Kestis. He's still a single shard drop, so we have to get in there and start working on him for that Jedi Knight Cal Kestis journey. But for right now, we're just focused on getting the Inquisitors up to full relic level, so we're just getting signal data. Mod energy, I do slicing materials 4 days a week, mod 3 days a week. We're going to stick with that. I am going to drop down to 3 mod refreshes, and I'm going to go up to 6 regular energy refreshes. We'll talk about that decision here in a minute. 3 on Fleet and Cantina. We're still working on the Inquisitors. Tier 2, we're working on all the Seer stuff, Cal, Saw, Dark Trooper, Moff Gideon, all that. And then in Tier 3, the shard farming, all the new stuff. And then we do have identified some relics that we would take to Relic 1 or Relic 8, depending on how all that stuff works out. So Grievous, we did lose that first matchup versus Starkiller. I don't think we had very good mods in the characters, and we very quickly lost the turn. And once the Mara Jade team got going, they went pretty hard. And Grievous was a little under-modded, so he wasn't doing enough damage on his attacks. So we kind of got that a little better shape. We added the leadership Zeta to Grievous, which I think will make a difference, and then swapped out all those mods. Again, we're trying to get as many of those droids to go before the Mara Jade team. And with the 40% speed from BB-8, both the B1 battle droid as well as Grievous himself, we want to be able to get a turn in with Grievous before the Mara Jade activates if we can. So getting him up to 260 speed should put us up around 400 speed with Grievous. So against some of those teams, we should be able to go quickly. So the next few relics, I do want to work on that Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and I felt like I was doing pretty well on Kyros. I checked out that Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and I had an extra Kyro, extra, quote, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just put that on the Dark Trooper and get him going. But then in hindsight, I mean, the Grand Inquisitor is going to need 400 Kyros just to put the Gear 12 and another 100 for Relic. And I should have just saved that the Kyro that I put on Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, waited to get the Grand Inquisitor unlocked, and then been, ahead on Kyro to get him very quickly to Relics. But I didn't think about that till after I'd already applied it. So that's 50 of each Kyro. It's 100 Kyro that I have to reestablish, but yeah, it's okay. We got a couple weeks to get that done. I did lock in the finisher piece for the last Inquisitor already, so that does put me in decent shape on Kyro. So everything I farm this week can go to the Grand Inquisitor, and then the week after that, all the Kyro will go to him. So should be that we can grab the Grand Inquisitor and relic him a week later. I'm hoping it all works out like that. Looks like it will. After the Grand Inquisitor, we are going to work on the B2 relic and start working on Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. Then we are going to work on Death Trooper and Shore Trooper and finish out the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. And that cycle, because I'm working on 2 characters that only need Kyros just for the injector part, we should be able to start leveling up the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis characters, getting them toward 12, so that once we start relicking for that journey, we won't have such a bad time getting them up to speed and getting the Kyro on them. So I think everything's coming together quite nicely. We are going to do B2, then that series for the Imperial Remnants. Then we'll take a look at what's next. By then, we'll have a better idea where we're at with all these farms and characters. We might look at Baze or Stormtrooper Han. Somebody mentioned that Stormtrooper Han might be even better than Baze for the Leia team, so take a look at that. Recently, there was a comment asking why I wasn't taking my gray mods all the way up to 12. Once I had some extra credits in the bank, it's not that big of a deal. There's a reason I'm not doing that, and I thought I would go through the whole story here rather than try to type this all out in answer to the comment. So the first thing, when I'm working on mods, I'm always focused on the chance that all future rolls will get me what I want on the mod. And each time that I'm not successful in getting what I want, there's a significant reduction in the remaining statistics, okay? So to kind of get people up to speed on what that means for people who may not like math as much as I do, I'm going to go through a simple example here and try to show kind of how it works. So let's say we take a 20-sided dice, and we're going to roll that and try to get success, and this is something you might do in a game like Dungeons & Dragons. Each side, 1 out of 20, has a 5% chance of showing up during a particular roll. So if we need a 15 to succeed, there's going to be 6 results on a d20 that get us success. 15 itself, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20 means that 6 out of 20 results are going to get us what we want. At 5% each, that's a 30% chance that we're going to get the success. If something in the game introduces a penalty of 1 to that roll, what effect does that have on your chance of success? And most people would say, well, it reduces your chance of success by 5%, which is true if you look at it in terms of, okay, I've lost 1 result now that worked before, so now I have a 25% chance of success instead of a 30% chance. But the trick is, you're not looking for the new statistical chance of success. You're looking at the difference between your old situation and your new situation. So even though it only changes your overall chances by 5%, it represents a 17% reduction in the chance of your success. Because what we're actually looking at, we used to have a 30% chance of success, and now we have a 25% chance of success. So again, it's not maybe obvious, but that's what you want to look at. You want to look at the change in your chance of success for each successive thing that you do. So by the time we get to that 4th roll, if we look at a gray mod and we say, what are the statistics of getting something we want on the gray mod, they look pretty good. But if you just look at that last roll going from 9 to 12, that's your 4th roll. There's a total of 12 different statistics that you could develop on a mod. By the time we get to the 4th roll, we've already got 3 of them that are not speed. Okay, that's the scenario that we're setting ourselves up with. So that means there's 9 different selections remaining, one of which is speed. So there's only a 1 in 9 chance that we're going to get speed on that last roll. Furthermore, if we do hit speed, we might get a 3, and there's a 33% chance of that. And there's a 33% chance that we might get a 4. And a 4 is, maybe we want it, maybe we don't. So if we look at it this way, once we get to that last roll, we've only got a 3.6% chance of getting what we want. There's also a 3.6% chance that we would get a 4-speed mod. Maybe that's useful, but in general, we're saying there's at least a 92.8% chance that we're going to get 3-speed or no speed. So again, if we look at the likelihood of getting what we want, each time we make a roll, that likelihood significantly decreases, and by the time we're on this last roll, is really bad statistics. And I had actually been doing that for a while. If you go back and you watch, like, I don't know, 8 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that, I was taking all my gray mods to 12. And then I started thinking, well, that's really not a good use. If I have extra credits, it would be better if I just bought mods out of the shop, because they have good statistics for improvement without the possibility of needing slicing materials. So let's compare those two things. If the highest potential mods are gold mods that already have good stats and have 5 speed, we can just focus on buying those out of the shop, versus the 9 to 12 upgrade. So if we look at this, 1 out of 28 gray mods going from 9 to 12 are going to give 5 speed. It costs $25,000 for each mod that you upgrade at that level. So for every $705,000 that I spend, 1 out of 28 of those mods is going to give me a 5-speed mod that I could improve. But those improvements are going to take slicing materials. They also have some credit value, but we're not going to discuss that at the moment. For $3.9 million, that's the cost of buying 1 mod, gold mod, out of the shop. I could develop a total of 155 gray mods from 9 to 12, get 5 or 6 that could get 5 speed, and statistically one of those would slice into a mod with 2 speeds. 2 speed rolls at green. Okay, so 1.5 of those would be a high potential mod after the first slice. First slice is pretty cheap, so we can take that and just say, okay, that rolls up into the statistics for us somehow. So the chances of hitting a 3rd speed on that green mod are higher than the chances of a 5-speed gold mod hitting 3 speed. But if you look at the cost of the slicing materials, it's really a lot more. Okay, the gold mod isn't using slicing materials, and at the end of the day, I'm already farming slicing materials 4 out of 7 days. I'm farming more slicing materials than I am mods. When you farm mods, you're getting green, blue, purple, gold mods in addition to the gray ones. So you are getting other mods that have good potential and are cheaper to develop with less slicing than a gray mod. Okay, so I want to farm more mods if possible and minimize the slicing, and I'm still trying to find the perfect balance there, but I'm around half and half, and I like it that way. So to summarize, 5-speed gray mods are usually worth slicing, and some of the best mods that you develop will come from gray mods because you have control. If you slice them to green and you get a 10-speed mod, you work on that. When you've already got 10 speed in the first 2 rolls, even if you roll pretty poorly on the next few rolls, let's say you get 2 3s and a 4 on your way to maxing out, you still get a 20-speed mod, right? If you're starting with an 8-speed mod and you get some more bad rolls, you end up with like a 17, 18 speed mod in total, and that's not fantastic, right? You're not happy about that. So with these gray mods, you have a little more control. You get some really good mods, but it does take tons of slicing materials. Some 4-speed gray mods are worth slicing, but there's no 3-speed mods. Again, if you hit 5-speed, even if you hit the best speed on a slice, then you only have an 8-speed mod, and I'm just not excited about working on those. So for me, that's the summary. So balancing between slicing material and farming mods, I want to do roughly half and half. It feels like a good balance. And then I want to buy purple or gold mods from the shop that already have 5 speed and give good stats without me having to farm more slicing materials. In total, if you look at the game and you're in your first couple years of play, it takes a lot of credits to level up characters and develop them. About 10 million per character if you consider it takes almost 2 million to get them to 7 stars. It takes 7 million to get them to level 85. And then it takes, the cost of all the skills that you have to add on top of that. So it's really costly to develop these characters. While you're leveling up characters, at first, you're not going to have extra credits to buy mods out of the shop. Once you're into the mid game and you're developing characters, but you've already got a lot of characters that are, at the level you want them, then you will get extra money and you can consider buying some good mods out of the shop. Once you get toward the end game, you aren't leveling up that many characters anymore, and the Loquitur count is starting to get to the point where the amount of characters that I have to level is limited. I'm able to make a lot of purchases out of the raid store. I don't need as much of that gear 12 gear as I used to, so I can spend more of the Mark 1 raid tokens on credits. And when you're truly in the end game, you're not taking that many characters to gear 12, then you can just buy the credits out of the shop every time you open up the shop, right? And if you buy credits out of there 3 or 4 times a day, you can buy a mod every day and get a high potential gold mod just for the cost of raid currency. So again, once you start getting extra credits, look to the mod shop. You'll see gold mods with 5 speed and decent substats in there at some point, almost every day. So grab those mods out of the shop. Again, new players can't do that very much. Mid-game players should be doing that once or twice a week, depending on how much extra credits you have. And end-game players are going to be buying mods out of that shop like crazy because they can. So just a little bit of sort of mod statistics, things for you to think about. If you agree with this, let me know in the comments down below. We can start a discussion as a community. If you disagree with this logic and you have better math, or you want to, demonstrate to the community why you feel differently, write that down below too. I would be happy for the discussion. So that's going to wrap it up for the week 177 update for the Darth Loquitur account. Please remember, hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future. Notification bell tells you when I'm doing my live streams. And of course, join the Discord. There's a link up above, down below. There's a lot of cool people over on the Discord. For new players, mid-game players, questions about your account, things to build, there's always people over there willing to give you helpful, useful, non-toxic advice. There's an Ask Loquitur channel, so you can ask me questions directly, and I'll get to them when I get a chance. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next Holocron.